Hey, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back to Marriage Advice for the Newly Married. As we dig into our hot topics, shake it up.
All right, I picked this time.
Are you gonna pick? Okay, you're gonna pick this time. Don't look. We wanna make sure this is on the up and up. Here we go. Topic.
Here we go.
Please read it for us.
Drum roll, please.
Drum roll, please. Here we go.
Our time and my time. Ooh.
Wait. What does this say?
Our time.
Our time
and my
and
time.
my time. Our time
You know what that makes me think of?
and my time.
I
Yes.
totally get this.
You do.
I do.
Our time and my
I
time.
thought about how when we first got married, you really wanted us to do everything together. Our time, our time, our time, our time,
Our time, my time.
And
Okay.
I would feel often like I need to do some stuff by myself. I need
Right.
to go have Pam time,
Yes.
me time.
Yes.
And you would get so upset.
Moi?
Yes, you would feel like I didn't want to be with you, that I didn't enjoy being
I
with
did.
you. You would take it
I
very
did.
personal.
I did.
And
I confess. Yeah.
and
That's fair.
I oftentimes felt suffocated because I felt like I just want to be by myself. So I totally get our time and me time.
Yeah. Okay. No. Look. Now I understand it. Yeah. The our time, my time. I do think that for newly married couples, this is can be a big topic because it all depends on. I think marriage tends to bring out what I like to call the foo issues, the family of origin issues. In other words, the things that you needed to feel close, the boundaries of the amount of closeness you have, that comes, we learn that by how we're raised. Some of it I know is probably just in our temperament, our style, but that can be there was a difference for us, big difference. And the more time went on, I was, like you said, I began to feel very neglected and hurt, and you began to feel stifled, like smothered, like
Yes.
you can't get your breath. And I get that. That is a big issue. That's actually very, very, very powerful.
So the way I handled it wasn't good. So I would disappear and not answer my phone, and you would be calling and calling. I'm laughing now, but it really was
wasn't funny.
bad.
Yeah.
I would not answer my phone, but I felt like if I answered my phone, you wouldn't give me the time.
Right.
And I would also be deceitful. I wouldn't tell you where I was going. So I would say, oh, I'm going to the doctor. So I'd do my doctor's appointment real quick and then spend like an hour.
8 hours doing stuff.
I would spend extra time just for myself because I didn't want to hurt your feelings. And I also didn't want to let you know what I was doing because then you would, get in your feelings, and now it's a whole big to-do. And so I just want to say thank you because you've really, really grown in that. And now you realize that I need my time.
Absolutely.
And it's not anything to do with you. As a matter of fact, now you're like, are you going to have your time? Because you know I'm going to come back from those times refreshed and thinking clearer and relaxed, like I've taken care of myself.
Absolutely.
And so I do appreciate you asking me, have you scheduled your alone time?
Your alone time.
Because that's how I get energized.
Yeah, and look, that was our experience. My advice for any young married couple, newly married couple, is you got to be able to not judge your spouse or assume the worst about it. But at the other extreme of that same spectrum, there are some things that just may need to be discussed. So, for example, if you consider my time has got to be 3 weeks away with my girlfriends every other month, but I need my time. Okay, you may be in an extreme that's not healthy for your marriage. The same way, like my issue, if you feel like you have to be fused together with your spouse like you're a Siamese twin, you're gonna have to question, maybe, in other words, maybe I've got to do some stretching. I would prefer to be like this all the time, but I've got to let my spouse get their space. Or I would prefer to be out, too much time. And again, too much needs to be a discussion. I think you got to be open to seeing your spouse's perspective, and then both of you being willing to be flexible.
It reminds me of in the Bible how God made each one of us uniquely ourselves.
Absolutely.
And that in the body, there's different parts, and that not one part is better. I think that sometimes in marriage, we think one is better. Well, mine is better because I want us to be together. Yours is terrible because you want us to be separate. And so we start the judgment and the feeling bad when it's really God made us differently, and different things give us energy so that we can then come together and be awesome together.
Absolutely. Look, I want to give you this encouragement. Look, one of the basics of our faith is our Lord taught us not to judge. And now he's not saying judge don't have a brain, but he's talking about that judgmental tone where we can look at somebody and think pretty much, I'm right, you're wrong. I'm spiritual, you're not. I know how to love, you don't.
Right.
And we put them in this, we look down on them.
Right.
Rather than really trying to kind of hammer out what's a compromise. My encouragement is, if this is the case for you as a newly married, have a discussion. Do I feel good? And it's important, because if you don't have me time, you're not together because you want to be. You're together because you're like stuck together. It's not good. Jesus would get away. In fact, remember, they would have trouble finding him sometimes, right? He needed time with God. He needed time without being surrounded all the time. That being said, have a discussion with your husband, your wife, where you can ask, do you feel comfortable having alone time?
Right.
Do I make you feel guilty about having alone time?
Right.
Just those two questions.
Yep.
Just have you're driving. Remember that topic? Do you feel comfortable about having alone time? Now, be open to your spouse's perspective. They may say yes, they may say no. Have a discussion about it. But the key is you want to get to
agreement that you both can live with.
Yes, you want to get
it's
to a yes.
Win-win.
Yes. What will it take for us to get that balance? And until we meet again, have that conversation. And
this has been great.
This has been great. We'll see you soon.